Hi students, this video covers tabs for Unit 10 exercise. You're going to be creating this particular document using this data, and you're going to combine it with the tables exercise we used in the last video that looks like so. So at this point you should have completed the table of the calendar, and we're going to create a new document in InDesign. File, new document. It's going to be custom, inches. We're going to just do a regular orientation, 8.5 by 11 portrait. You don't have to have facing pages selected. Don't really need to have a column for this one, so I'm just going to say one column. You can just put 0 in there. The margins, 0.25 is a good standard to go by, and of course, bleed 0.125 and 0 slug. Go ahead and hit create. We're going to start off by placing in the data file that you found in JetNet, which is right here, tabs data. You'll click on that page, select that information, copy it, go back into InDesign, and we are going to do an invisible creation, text box creation, and then we're going to place, once you see the cursor in there, make sure you're in the text tool and you create that. You see the cursor in there, and then you do a Control V for place or Command V on the Mac for place. To start this off, tabs can be a little intimidating, and they are sensitive, like a lot of the things you find in InDesign, in Illustrator, and Photoshop, and all of those programs of Adobe. There's sensitivities in each program that you kind of have to get used to. Well, tabs is one. I know that I struggled a lot with them, but if you go to Type and Tabs, a little tabs bar will actually pull out here. And if you go to your selection tool, select the text box that you want to work with and hold down on the magnet. It will actually anchor this to be working with the particular text box that you want to. You can align it because that's really where it's going from. It's working here, and as you can see in the width that it provided you, even though it was opened and it was over here, if you align it after you hold down the anchor, it always will follow exactly the width of this. If I hold down anchor, then I think you can clear it all to like a reset indents, and then you can see what's occurred. And if I open it up again, I go here, reset indents, it opens back up to the width. We want to keep the width spanning the entire text box. I'm going to go ahead and I want to double click in to get my cursor to go inside the text box. And I'm going to highlight everything, select all, Control A, and then I'm going to go ahead and I want to make this sans serif just easier to read. I'm going to do a Myriad Pro regular, and then I'm going to make this 15, and then I'm going to make this, I'm going to open this up to 20, maybe even 22. Give it just a little space so we can see what we're doing here. Okay, so some of the things you might want to know about this tabs menu is we have a left justified tab, a center justified tab, a right justified tab, an align to the decimal or other specified character. I rarely use this one. The leader is for the leader dots, and we're going to add leader dots to ours as well, and I'll show you how to do that afterwards. But you want to, some of the things I can tell you right away about tabs is that they can be kind of confusing. So you can add tabs like so, can add as many as I want in this little area between the little ruler and up here. And you can also take them away anytime you want just by hitting delete or pulling them away, pulling them up and away. Click and lift up and away. Click and lift up and away, or you can go here and clear all. That will clear everything up here. One of the other things that is interesting to note is if you add a tab and I go into my text box and I hit one tab, it won't necessarily bring it to where I want it to go. And you see, if you notice, the tab has gone away. So I'm going to do an undo there. One of the things you want to do is make sure all of your text is selected before you add tabs. So before I go in and do that, I'm going to reset indents, just make sure that I'm selected on. Now I'm going to dive in. I'm going to do a select all. I know that I want a left tab, probably about the 1/4 of an inch mark. You notice none of these have moved, and that's okay. And then I know I'm going to want, so that's going to be for my name. I know I'm going to want an age section. I'm going to give everyone a long area for age. I'm going to go probably over here. And that's also going to be a left justified. Go to 2 1/4. That might not be enough space, but we'll try for right now. All right. And then after name, age, then I'm going to do location, city. We'll do 4 1/4, right about there. All left justified. And then after, notice how I still have all my text selected. You can't just insert a tab and then without this being selected and then tab over and it be activated, because that's not how it works. You have to have it all selected and then go back into your text and tab. And we're going to do that in a moment. So I've got my name, got my age, I've got my city. Now I want a state. Probably going to go right at the 6 for state, as close as I can. Still left justified. Now I want to, it says donation total after that. Now I want to, that's going to be the price points. Now I want to make sure that that's right justified. And so I can either go ahead and add a tab that's left justified. And as I keep that highlighted, go back up here and change it over to right justified. And you notice it has made that change for me. And as long as this is selected, I can also add in a leader dot. Just go into leader, hit a dot, and then hit return. Okay. So notice nothing has happened yet. But because all of this was selected when I applied all of these, they are going to make a difference when I add all this in. So first thing I'm going to do is make sure this is bold. Go to bold. Now I'm going to tab the name, tab age, city tab, state tab, donation total. Looks like I might want to adjust some of these. Age does not have to be that far. Go like this. Ooh, I've got 2 cities. Oops, maybe I didn't. Okay. State. So one of the things I've been doing is I'm moving these around. I'm going to take this city, I'm going to move it to about here. That might not be enough room still, but okay. Sometimes the writing, the way that it views is a little weird, so I had to kind of go out of it to make sure I was in the right spot. And then the donation total. The reason why I have it right justified is because I want them all to stop here, being right justified, short of where that bounding box is. So now I'm going to go down into my text and do the same thing. Name, age, I'm tabbing over, city, state, donation total. And if you notice, there has been a mistake. The city is not aligning properly. It looks like city up here, if you notice, there are tabs in different spots. So there has been a mess up. So I'm going to go, this is on purpose. I'm going to go down into my text and make sure it's all selected. And if you look, there are some that are blue highlighted. And what that does is it shows you that we were only in a line earlier when we were changing up the tabs. And so that can't be done. So you'll want to go back in, select all, go over here, clear all, and then hit this again. And then if you note, you're going to want to maybe take away all the tabs and start fresh. If you mess with one line, it's really going to mess everything up. So I'm going to go ahead and to get the hang of it, this is good for exercising. Give us a little practice. Okay, so I have this bold, which is nice. I'm going to go ahead and highlight everything, Command A, and then I'm going to apply my tabs. Left justified. Name, age, city, state, and then I'm going to go over here, donation total, and as that's highlighted, I'm going to come over here. It is a right justified already. That means I never changed it. So now these I want to make sure are left justified. Left justified, left justified. Just click on them and click on how you want them to be justified. You can have them centered too. That might be needed in many cases. Then I'm going to go back over here because I do want this to have leader dots right before the amount. Click on this. Make sure it's got a leader dot. Now, if you don't select these little arrows, it's not going to add anything to it. So now what's great is now I can go back into my text and I know that all of this was selected and applied at the same time. I'm going to tab, 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 click tab, click tab. Perfect. And then you can go back in, obviously, that since this is sort of a header, you don't want the leader dots here, but we can go back in and clear those tabs later or change them up. Right now, we just want to make sure that we've got most of these done. So go ahead and apply the tabs to each one. Okay, so I've added in all of the tabs, and now I can look back and I can select all, and I can go ahead and kind of adjust these as needed. Like the state's kind of far away, it gives us more space. You notice how those leader dots really work well before the price. And then the city is still a little bit farther away from age. Do that. And then I know that I don't want this top one to have leader dots. So if I just highlight this top and I highlight this, I can take away the leader dot and hit return. And it only affects this one line. And that's it. So this is the exercise for Unit 10 based on tabs. So go ahead and again, you want to save this file, save as, Unit 10 underscore tabs underscore your last name, not the word last name. Save that alongside the tables assignment, place them both into a folder and compress or zip that folder and upload to the submission link in JetNet. Have a great week. See you in the next video.